Open throttle. Okay, so here we are for another update on my ARRMA Limitless speed run series, and we have now completed phase 3. Now, if you're new to the entire series or new to the channel and you want to catch up a little bit, I'll have links in the video description where we'll go through the unboxing, phase 1 and phase 2 progress of the car. Until now, we've of course reached phase 3. But to give you a very brief and quick recap, phase 1 was this budget system that is sold here in Australia through Metro Hobbies. It's a 4274 2000 kV motor paired up to 150 AMP-SC. Fairly cheap basic system for any 1/8 scale vehicle, but I wanted to see how it would perform in the Limitless, given that it is a big 1/7 scale. It's a little heavier than your standard 1/8 scales, and it actually didn't do too bad. I think I got to about 90 mile an hour, which is about 142 to 140 something kilometers an hour. So for that sort of price range, to be able to go that fast in a car like this, if you really like the car but you're on a bit of a tight budget, that phase 1 is probably a good option for you. Just got to make sure you have a good radio and steering servo as well. Phase 2 was with the Hobbywing Max 8 combo. I've used combos like this in a few of my other cars. This one was actually temporarily in my infraction. I pulled it out of that and put it in here. And this was the one that we actually got 100 miles an hour with. So I was super rapt to be able to achieve that. Although I did have a couple of hurdles to get over, such with, with the batteries and so forth. And this is where it leads into phase 3. So phase 3, ideally what I wanted to do was keep the Max 8 ESC in the car and just swap out the motor. These motors were suggested to me by a couple of my viewers. This is a rocket motor. I think it's made by Surpass Hobby or something. This particular one is a 4585 1580 kV. Now, the Max 8 ES motor rather is 2200 kV, and it's a 4274. This is a 4585, so much bigger, torquier motor, but a much lower kV. Keeping the gear ratio the same, which by this stage I had selected my gear ratio to be 39 tooth spur with a 27 tooth pinion. That's how we got the 100 mile an hour with this combo. So all I did was swap out the motor. I still got the Max 8 ESC in there, and I think I got about 146 kilometers an hour with that exact same gear ratio, same batteries, just with a different motor. So clearly this motor could handle a lot more gearing. So then I swapped out to a 34 tooth spur, which is in fact the original spur gear that comes with the car. So 34 tooth spur, 27 tooth pinion, and there we found another bottleneck, which was the ESC. The Max 8 ESC just couldn't quite get the full potential out of the motor because it was just getting on too much load. That being said, I will say that the Max 8 ESC paired up with this motor and the 3927 made the car very fun to drive. Sure, I was only getting about 90 mile an hour. I was going slower than before, but man, it would light up the tires so easy. I could drift a little bit, and I could be a little bit more liberal with the throttle. I didn't have to be so gentle with it because the gear ratio was a little bit lower. The motor was a bit torquier, and it could actually pull the weight of the car without too many issues. So these motors aren't actually that bad if you just want to have a bit of fun. Might actually be a really good option for the infraction as a basher style motor, where you could just have some amazing speed out of that car, get well in excess of 80 miles an hour, which is 130 plus kilometers an hour, and be able to just bash around with it. I think that actually is a pretty good combination given the size of the motor, which is something that I kind of wish ARRMA would do on the infraction, is just change the motors out a little bit. In any case, once I found that the bottleneck was the ESC, I then switched out to the Max 6 ESC. I actually have one that I was planning on using on the Creighton 8S, which you see all the way on the end there. And I've installed that in there. And again, I found another bottleneck, which was again the gearing. So now I was no longer getting the cutouts. I was able to get max speed out of the car, which I think was in the high 150s at this stage. That's kilometers an hour. But I felt like it was still peaking a bit too early. I was able to really get full throttle passes quite frequently. I didn't feel like I was pushing it all the way to the end, so I decided to change out the pinion gear. And in the end, I ended up going for a 34 tooth spur with a 34 tooth pinion. So now I'm running a 1-to-1 gear ratio with the rocket motor. And I'm going to show you very quickly what the results of all this was, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what the end result was with the Hobbywing Max 6 motor, which I think is actually going to be quite surprising for a lot of you. So stay tuned, I will be back after you watch some of these speed passes. Alrighty, let's see what we can do, Noah. Seems like it's got enough. Alright, seems like it's got enough speed or enough acceleration. Alright, let's try from there. Here we go. Clear behind, yes? Alright, here we go. Oh, it cut out a little bit. 145. Okay, you cut out. I punched it a little bit too hard. That's okay. It's only the first test. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. 145. Alright, so this is definitely calling upon, like it's really pulling some amps from this ESC. So Max 6, that little rocket motor, and 34 gearing. I'm going to go way past those cars there. Turn it around. Okay, now here we go, second pass. Uh-oh. Don't do that to me. Oh no, come on. Okay. Oh, yeah. You didn't get anything? No. Well, hopefully the radar gun did. Brakes are definitely good there. I'm pulling up on time, so that's good. So nothing out of the radar gun. Alright, let's go and see if we can do another pass. Try and get something good. Hopefully the GPS picked that up, because I definitely held it at full speed that time. Alright, turning around. Here we go, Noah. How much? 160. 160. So not quite as fast as the Max 8, but still pretty quick. What have you got, Jamie? 160. Let's see if the GPS has picked up anything different. We'll check that after 3 runs. We should be just about ready to call it on this one. Let's see what we got here. Noah, 168. 168, that's a new PB. I'm not quite sure what that is in miles, but I'll definitely have that on the screen. 168. Woof. Alrighty, I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. That's sick. Yes, rocket motor did come through after all, but it needed 34 gearing, which is quite a tall order for a motor like this. But you can get well over 100 miles an hour with this motor, no problem at all. So there we have it, 168 kilometers an hour out of the rocket motor paired up to the Max 6 ESC. But I wasn't quite done yet. Phase 3 wasn't quite over, because I had the Max 6 motor, the original Max 6 motor, which was a 1650 kV, 4985, and I wanted to see how that would compare to this rocket motor. Now obviously the rocket motor going up against the Max 8 motor, that's a little bit better, but you would need to up the gear ratio and you know, use the Max 6 ESC. So as a one-to-one comparison, when I just swapped out the motor, yeah, this is going to be a little bit slower. It's going to be a little bit torquier as well. But when you try to gear it up with the Max 8 ESC, it didn't quite keep up. Switching out to the Max 6, this motor definitely started to shine a little bit better, and you could really see the potential of what it could do. And sure enough, you know, we hit 168. No doubt somebody out there will probably beat that as well. But I wanted to try the Hobbywing motor. I swapped it out, and I'll show you what it looks like very quickly here, because more than likely this is going to be the last time that you are going to see this car with its standard layout. So you can see that everything is still as standard as it came out of the factory. The only changes that I've made to this, other than the gear ratios, is I've just tweaked the suspension and droop screws a little bit. I've taken the front kind of spoilers, the little black spoilers that they put on the front here, I've taken those off, and I've trimmed my rear spoiler down to the bottom sort of rim line that they have. So I've cut that all the way down, and I've given the car a little bit of a downward attitude with my droop screws, because I've taken the front spoilers here. I have seen people not adjust this properly, and then the cars become airborne when you go over 100 miles an hour or so. It just does a flip in the air. So make sure that you've adjusted your suspension correctly for that, otherwise you're going to have a bad day. So that's the entire layout, running a 34-34 gear ratio with the Max 6 ESC and motor. I went out and I tried again, expecting this to be a little bit faster, because it's a 1650 kV versus a 1580 kV. Not a huge difference, but this is a slightly larger diameter can. And I thought, okay, hopefully we can go a few kilometers faster, but unfortunately that wasn't to be. And I'm really disappointed. I was gutted, because I've been using Hobbywing power systems for such a long time. One of the more popular ones, without a doubt, is the Max 8 combo, which I know a lot of people have tried out, based on not just my videos, but various other people's testimonials and videos as well. And they seem to be very impressed with that power system for their 1/8 scale vehicles, so much so that I wanted to try it on here, and that's what got me to break that milestone of 100 miles an hour. So to go and put a Max 6 motor, an entire combo in here, and not achieve that big speed, that was really quite disappointing. So I don't know what to say. I don't know if anybody out there has using that exact same motor and perhaps gotten better results. Maybe I have a dud. It could be that. Or maybe that's just the simple fact is that the rocket motor, is an absolute bargain in price, given how it's performed in this car versus the equivalent or very similar to a Hobbywing motor. So that's where I'm going to leave this one, guys. Take a good long hard look at this car. It is the last time you're going to see it like this. I'm going to be removing one of the battery trays. I'm going to be flipping the motor mount around, and I've also got a new custom painted body coming. I don't know what it looks like yet, so I'm really looking forward to see how that's going to turn out. But it's going to be full, professionally painted custom paint job. And when you see the car again with all of these changes and the new body, that's when you know it's ready for the final phase, which is going to be phase 4, running the TP motor and the Castle XLX ESC. Fingers crossed my XLX ESC doesn't catch fire, because I have seen a few of them out there fail. But we'll see what happens. There is a new Castle ESC that's been released recently, so I've got one of those on order as well, and I'm hoping to have that as a backup. But that is pretty much it for this video. I'm going to leave you now with the final sort of passes that I did with the Hobbywing motor, and you guys can see, proof there of what sort of speed it did. That is it from me, guys. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And as always, check out the video description. I'll have more links in there to the car, all the motor combos and products that I've used. I'll try and have as many links in there as I possibly can, and help you out if you have any more information. Thank you again, and I'll speak to you all next time.
All right, Noah. Here we go. Hobbywing motor, 6S. Let's see what we can do. Oh, okay. All right, you ready? Here we go. Got a bit of tailwind, so hopefully we'll be all right. How much? 160. 160? Yeah. Oh, I think I went faster than that, because that was pretty damn quick. 160. All right, let's try it again. I'm pretty sure the GPS will read faster than that. I'm just having a little bit of trouble with range, I feel. Still okay up there. Alright, turning it around. Oh no. Oh no, hang on. Okay. Okay, put it here. I'll put it here. Here we go. Cutting out. Cut out. Cut out. Alright. Let's see how we go. I've stepped forward a little bit, so hopefully I won't lose range from here. I need to change radios, I think. This DX5C just isn't giving me the range I need. Alright. Here we go, Noah. How much? 162. 162, so 100 mile an hour. I'm not going any faster. I'm hoping that the GPS has registered something better, because I was really hoping that this Hobbywing motor would do more. Let's see what we got so far. Let's see what we got so far. And we might try one more time. 163, so how about that? The rocket motor seems to be faster. Alright, let's try it again. I'm going to put this back on. I'll give it one more squeeze. That's actually quite incredible. I did not expect that. I was expecting the Hobbywing to be a lot quicker. A lot quicker. So, by about 20 kilometers quicker. Alright, Noah, go back to your spot. I'm going to walk forward a little bit, and we're going to see if we can go any quicker. But if the GPS hasn't picked anything up, and we're only getting 160s out of the radar gun, I would say that that's as much as this motor can offer. Now we do have a crosswind. The conditions are different from yesterday, but alright, let's see if I can come around the back of those cars there. Okay, Noah. How much? 162. 162 again. Well, looks like that's all she's going to do. Wow, I'm actually disappointed. I was expecting at least another 20 k's on top of that. At least. So the rocket motor outperforms the Hobbywing motor. Same ESC, same batteries, same gearing. Everything the same road. Alright, it's a little windier today, but that shouldn't slow us down that much. And it's a crosswind, not a headwind. So, interesting. Man, I'll tell you what though, it's got heaps of grunt. Woof. Woof. Heaps of grunt. Oh, easy now. Alright, well that's all she's gonna do. I'm sorry, I'm just having a bit of fun here. Let's go and check our GPS one more time, just to see if anything else happened. No, we're still at 163, so those that last pass didn't change things. Well, how about that? I would have put anything on the Hobbywing motor being a better performer than the rocket motor. But that's not the case at all. There it is there. So this is the motor that was in my Crazy Chaos Reaper. So, and yeah, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I was expecting it to do a lot better, and it didn't. What can we do? It is what it is. Proof is in the pudding. I would suggest getting the rocket motor over the Hobbywing motor, and I never thought I would say that in all the years of my life, but there you have it. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll be speaking to you all next time.